Hi guys, my name is Deyemi Okolawa, and as you know, I am the brand ambassador for PWAN Stars, one of the leading real estate companies in Nigeria. Today, I'm going to be talking to two of my favorite people who work with PWAN Stars. But before we go there, I want to explain one thing to you guys real quick. My job as a brand ambassador can only be possible because of you guys. The company realizes that I have the audience that they want to reach out to, which is why they named me their brand ambassador. However, it's very important to me that whatever company I represent is one that is going to add value to people who follow me, who are my fans, who watch my movies, people I call friend. It's really important that whatever company I deal with, or I'm in partnership with, or I am representing, gives the very best value to you. And that's what today's video is about. So sit back, relax, and watch. Mr. Bamidele, it's such a pleasure to be here with you again. We've had tons and tons of conversations, and I felt it was really important that people can learn, these amazing insights that you have about the real estate industry. You can learn from you firsthand as well. But please, can you introduce yourself to our audience?
Thank you very much, Deyemi. It's good to have another chat with you this afternoon. My name is Bamidele Adewale. I'm the MD CEO of PWAN Stars. In my role as the MD, I oversee finance, I oversee strategy, and it's my responsibility to ensure that the company is run properly. I've been into real estate for about 10 years, and I've gathered quite a bit of experience over the years in terms of real estate management, real estate development, and generally managing a real estate company on a day-to-day basis. I've been running this business for about 3.5 years now. I'm glad to state that we've actually taken this company from very small beginnings up to the level it is today. And I'm really excited about where it is that we're taking this company to. I have here the beautiful Executive Director, Tosin Adewale. It is such an honor to be here again. Your smile always lights up, every day that we chat. And what's more important is I suspect that you're the person responsible for selling most of the real estate properties here. Because that smile alone. Please, can you introduce yourself to us?
Okay, thank you, Deyemi, once again. It's nice to have you. My name is Tosin Adewale, and I'm the Executive Director, Chief Operating Officer of PWAN Stars. I oversee customer service, admin, and the operations of the organization.
Thank you very much, Edie. Thank you so much. So, for the purpose of those who do not know yet about PWAN Stars, and I'll be very surprised if there's anybody following me that doesn't know about PWAN Stars. For the purpose of those who have not heard about the company and don't have details about what the company does, can you please share some of the purpose behind the company and what the service is and whatever it is that you want to share about it?
Okay, thank you very much for that, Deyemi. PWAN Stars actually started as a very small company in 2018, May 9, 2018 to be precise. And we started with a vision to make home ownership dreams a reality for as many Nigerians as possible. Now, what led to this vision? We realized that the Nigerian landscape, the real estate landscape, has a housing deficit of about 17 million units.
Wow.
And we thought it right to sort of close that gap in our own little way. So we started off by introducing some products into the market, landed properties in remote areas at the time, and we sold some of those products out. And then as time went on, as we grew as an organization, we then decided to take things a bit further. So now we have our properties located a lot closer to town. Right? We started with just landed properties initially, but now what we do is we actually do housing. We're actually going into housing development. So the plan is to then develop houses that are affordable, but without compromise to quality as well. So that's really the next level that we're taking things to.
Fantastic. I'm also aware that you have written a book.
Yes, I have.
On investing.
Yes, I have.
You want to share some?
Well, the book was really sort of aligned to the fact that I was into real estate, because obviously real estate is one of the asset classes, right, that you have under that general heading of investments. Okay, so I also thought of a need to educate people about how to invest, because I noticed that a lot of people don't even know how to invest. They don't know how to save. People don't have that culture of managing. They don't know how to manage their finances. And being a chartered accountant that I am, and also a chartered stockbroker, and by the way, I actually started my career about 17 years ago in the investment space as an investment analyst. So I felt, look, I have the skills, and I knew that there was a gap in the industry. So in aligning with my role as the CEO of this company, I felt, look, why not write a book to educate people, so that perhaps even if it's just one or two people who can pick the book, read it, and become better in terms of managing their finances and their investments, right? That would be a plus for me. That would be success for me. Fantastic. So that was really the idea behind writing
Fantastic.
the book.
When I do share this video, I will be sharing details of how they can, get a copy of the book. That'll be great. So I know for a fact, ED, that P1 Stars is one of the top real estate companies that provides affordable housing for middle income and even lower income customers. But I want to know, really, what makes P1 Stars different?
Okay, well, thanks for that. To that, first of all, what makes us different is that our prices are very competitive. We're very intentional when we're putting price points on our products, because we do a lot of research and feasibility studies before we finally decide to put a price on it, because we don't want to sell overpriced properties.
Sure.
So we're very intentional when we're putting prices. And also, what makes us stand out is that, yes, people say people do due diligence and all that, but there's something that P1 Stars does that a lot of people don't do. We go the extra mile in doing a lot of thorough checks in our documentation, checks to ensure that we're putting out there valid title properties. Because, people over the years have had a lot of issues with properties.
Sure.
When they finally invest, they come back, and in the end, there's a problem with the documentation. So we go the extra mile to do our thorough checks. We have a very strong legal team we work with before we put our products out there, because we don't want to give our clients any problem whatsoever in the future. We are also intentional about location. We don't just say because we want to sell real estate, we get a product, we acquire property anywhere, and we just put it out there. Real estate is supposed to give you returns on your investments. So we're very intentional about location. We carefully source and look for properties that are in locations that when you buy, within a very short period of time, there's capital appreciation, and it's close to a lot of infrastructure, commercial activities, and all the likes.
Awesome,
yes.
Awesome. So we're saying location, documentation, price points. That's really interesting, because I think everybody wants to get a good deal. Everybody wants to get a great deal. I've seen the pricing of some of your products. We'll talk about it in a bit, and I think they are hugely discounted, compared to the other things that I've seen around in those same locations. And of course, the locations are great. I mean, some of the properties that you have are what I would call prime property, and that's really important. And documentation, I mean, what's the point of buying if it's not a safe deal? So it's really important. Thank you very much for that. MD, we are just coming out of a pandemic year that has affected the world globally. Global markets are still trying to, recover from, the pandemic. Nigeria is pretty, we're pretty much hit by it. We've seen the devaluation of our currency over the past few months. I don't want to talk about, the regulators here, but I try to keep my eyes on what's going on in the financial markets.
Correct.
Real estate as an investment tool, is it one of the things that you suggest that we look at? On what scale would you say we should be looking at real estate in terms of investment options?
You know what? It's interesting that you asked me this question, DME, because coincidentally, someone just sent me a message on my Instagram page asking me what investment options are available out there. And the very first thing that came to my mind was real estate. And I'm not saying this because I'm into real estate. I'm saying this as someone who is an investment professional with over 17 years experience. Now, you are 100% right. There's been a pandemic that started around March last year in Nigeria, and it's really literally crippled economies. You know, the whole world was literally in a recession, and Nigeria was no exception. Okay, so obviously other asset classes like the stock markets have been severely hit. You have risk-free asset classes like government securities, treasury bills, severely hit. But there's one asset class that has stood firm, and that's real estate.
Right.
Now, I'll give you an example. We launched a property last year, August to be precise. It was exactly 1 year that we launched our property, and it was going for 6.6 million naira when we launched it. Today, as I speak to you, that property is going for 11 million naira.
Oh, wow.
So that's a capital appreciation of almost 100% within the space of just 1 year.
That's great.
So that just shows you the level of returns you can potentially make from investing in real estate.
Regardless of
what's going on. Because if you think about it, inflation hasn't moved by more than maybe 20-30%. You know, if you had to rely on official figures, right? Whereas you're looking at an asset class that has gained over or close to 100%.
Right.
So to answer your question directly, look, I tell people, right, if you're looking for an asset that can beat inflation and can also to an extent beat currency devaluation, because that's also one of the effects of the pandemic. The fact that we've not been able to produce as much as we used to produce pre-pandemic, you know, so the currency has been devalued. Real estate can actually, especially if you invest with the right company, which obviously is PWAN Stars. Okay. You know, you do have the opportunity to beat some of all those nuances and those face the headwinds as
I think it's really important to hedge against inflation and even our currency devaluation.
Absolutely.
I'm a very keen investor, as you.
Yes, I do
know.
I do know that.
And so these are questions that I'm currently, you know, also asking around, and you know, every time I talk to you, you know, I just get so much wisdom about what next to do.
Now, you know, the interesting thing about real estate is that it's not just the fact that you get returns, right? That's not the only benefit of real estate. Now, the other benefit is the fact that you have multiple uses, right? So you buy a piece of property, say landed property, for instance. Now, beyond just sitting back and waiting for your capital to appreciate, right? You could also use it for so many other things. You could go into farming, for instance. You could decide to use the land as a warehouse, for instance. You could rent it out. You could use it as a commercial car park. You know, there are so many multiple uses of real estate. So that's one of the reasons why I tell people, look, you can never go wrong with real estate. You know, there's no two ways about it.
I agree 100%. My next question, although you've touched on it a little bit, but I'm going to be a bit more specific. My next question is about areas of real estate. There are different arms, and he's talked about some of the things that you can do with real estate properties, but I'd like you to go in a bit deeper. What areas within this real estate space should one be looking at in terms of long-term investment?
Okay, well, there's a saying that, you know, normally in real estate, that anywhere without any landmark, no matter small or big, holds really no value in real estate. So when investing in real estate, for us at PWAN Stars, we're very intentional. You look at areas that have commercial activities. You know, there's infrastructure coming up, even if it's not yet there. You need to put your ears to the field and, you know, news, what's going on, what's the government saying about such locations. Even if some areas are developed and there's no landed property around there, the next expanse of lands around, that should be your focus, your next big thing. Okay. So infrastructure, there should be commercial activities around, there should be amenities around. Imagine you want to set up a residential estate, it should be close to schools,
hospitals,
basic amenities, and places that, like I always say, when you invest, you decide you want to sell and go into another property, you can get your capital appreciation quick. So those are the kind of areas you look into when you want to invest in real estate.
Fantastic advice. Fantastic. Okay, so MD, with all this being said and done, I've heard some amazing new products, from P1 Stars. I mean, I joined as brand ambassador just last year, and I've seen the growth, in less than a year. And I've seen you guys going in a new direction and just taking on more and adding more value, to your customers. So I'd like you to share some. I don't want to be the one to share it,
Yeah.
So I'd like you to share with us some of the projects that are currently being developed or currently on the way with P1 Stars.
Okay, so before I delve into the specific projects, I would like to give a bit of a background as to what our target market is. Okay. Because I believe every company should have a target market, and we are obviously no exception. So our target market is essentially the lower middle space, right? And then the middle, right? So those are the kind of people. And the reason is because, like I said earlier, our focus is to try and provide affordable opportunities to as many people as possible. Okay? Maybe sometime in the future we might decide to get into the upper space, but right now we're playing at the lower and at the middle space. So to answer that question directly, yes, we do. We actually have one property at the lower end, which is called Starwood Gardens. Okay. Now that property comes with an acquisition as title. It goes for 3.1 million naira for a 450 square meter plot, and it's all charges included. So there are no hidden charges whatsoever. Okay, it's located in Ibejuleki town, which is just approximately 10 minutes away from Ekpe, about 40-45 minutes away from Ajah roundabout. Yeah. So that's the one that we have in that space. Now the other properties that we have in the middle space, we start with the one at Abijojere called Grandeur Peninsula. Okay, that one comes with a registered court judgment as title, and it goes for 6 million naira for 300 square meters. Again, all charges inclusive, no hidden charges. Sure. Now coming closer, we have one which is called the Pinnacle Phase 3. Okay, that's located within the Ajaya Apata New Town. That one currently goes for 14 million naira. Again, all charges inclusive. So we have that model whereby because we don't want to have to start chasing our customers for one charge or the other, one development levy. So we just add everything together so that once they pay, they know they are done with all payments and they don't have to bother to pay anything else. Obviously, except title perfection fees, which is their responsibility. Okay, so that one goes for 40 million. The title is Governor's Consent. Okay, that was launched into the market about a month ago, and it's doing fantastically well. The response has been absolutely amazing. Okay, now you remember I also mentioned the fact that we're also going into buildings, right? So obviously
I was waiting for that.
Yeah, we do have a building project that we launched a couple of weeks ago. It's called the Signature, right? Now that one goes for 36.8 million naira. Okay, for those who are paying over 12 months. Now if you are paying in installments, that's the good thing about that project. Even if you are paying in installments, you do get discounts. Okay, so if you're paying in 9 months installments, you get a 2.5% discount. If you're paying in 6 months, you get a 5% discount. And if you're paying within 2 months, you get a 10% discount. So we're building 4 units of 4-bedroom terrace duplexes with BQ. That's what we're building. We've already done the foundation, and the next stage that we're taking it to now is the lintel. So once you get to the lintel, we do the decking. It occupies 3 floors, right? And we expect to complete that project in the next 8 to 9 months.
And the price is just...
It's 36.8. I mean, and it's actually if you're paying.
And it's on 3 floors.
3 floors.
It's 4 bedrooms.
4 bedrooms
with a BQ.
With a BQ. That's it. I mean, it sounds too good to be true, right? It sounds too good to be true, but it is.
Where is the Signature located?
The Signature is located in our very first project within Shangutedo called the Pinnacle 1 Estate. Right, so it's just off the Popular Monastery Road, about 1 minute drive from the Popular Monastery Road.
It's also close to ShopRite.
Close to the Novare Mall ShopRite. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's one of the key attractions. The ED
so not only so
no problem.
So not only is it very, very reasonably priced, it's actually in a prime location because it doesn't get in that area. That's prime. It's
in a prime location. It's located just behind the monastery church, and there are buildings all over. So once you get to the site, you'll be seeing all the developments right around you. So,
awesome.
Yeah, and we're also developing the infrastructure within the estates. So those who buy into that project are going to be enjoying the facilities and the amenities that we're going to provide within the estate there. Now, there's one more that I am going to mention, even though it's not live, but it's proposed, and we intend to start developing the place very soon. Now, it's the Pinnacle 3. We intend to have premium housing units there. So we're going to do apartments, 1-bed apartments, 2-bed apartments, and 3-bed apartments. So we're so excited about that project because we've gone very far. We've done the design, and we're just waiting for 1 or 2 approvals here and there, and then we would hit the site and we'll start work as soon as we're able to do so.
Fantastic. It's good to see the amount of growth that has happened in less than a year, and all these fantastic deals that are coming from P1 Stars. I'm sure everybody out there would really appreciate the fact that we have a company who is doing its best to provide affordable housing for us all. It's making sure that your documentation is properly done. It's finding locations that are accessible, that are commercially viable, that will see appreciation in the shortest possible time. And that's really, really, really important. On a final note, I would like to ask Edie. We've heard about all the fantastic things that P1 Stars is currently doing. Even up to things that are still, in maybe development phase, with the new Pinnacle 3 products. Yeah. What about the future? What's in the future?
For P1 Stars. Wow. As you said, the future, my eyes just lit up. Like, the future is bright. It's really bright for P1 Stars. Okay, I'm sure from the trend of the analysis the MD just gave now as our projects into building, it's even clearer. The future for P1 Stars as a development firm is mostly, our projects are going to mostly be 65 to 70% buildings, construction work. We need to bring that dream alive, making homeownership dreams a reality. And that's where it's finally coming to life. So it's going to be 65 to 70% construction. There's going to be service plots in the estates, but that's basically it. And we're going to keep improving, keep being innovative, and keep doing things just to make our clients satisfied.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Can I just add to that? Yeah, so I'm really very excited. I mean, anytime anybody asks me this question, just as she said, my face just lights up. Now, the reason why I'm excited is because I know what we have planned for the company, and it's nothing short of spectacular, right? So, I mentioned earlier that we're planning to move from Ibetuleki to Shombutedu. Now, I'm going to let something out of the bag. We're actually planning to move even closer to town, to within the Lekki, the Lekki area. Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. That's the ultimate plan. So because we see so many opportunities within the middle income space, in this Lekki region, so we're going to be doing a lot of developments, mainly housing, as you said, mainly housing developments, and obviously we're going to keep taking the level a notch higher, right? We do believe one of the things I tell my people or my team in the office is, we have to embrace continuous improvement, right? We're not going to get there overnight. We know that it's going to take effort, it's going to take time, it's going to take determination, but we do know that if we make a small step towards getting to our desired destination, right, every day we will eventually get there. So we are very excited about the future.
Phenomenal. On a final note, I say final, nice. If somebody wants to get a great discount, I know you advertise your pricing out there. We don't want to get a great discount. Who should they be talking to? MD or ED? Who gives better discounts? Who gives better discounts? I'm not going to let you guys answer that. If you guys want to find out how you can get great discounts, great deals, great property from P1 Stars, pick up the phone and dial the numbers. You can follow P1 Stars NG on Instagram, and you get the details of how to contact the organization and get your deals and have your dream house come to pass.
I really hope you guys enjoyed that short and informative conversation that I just had with the MD and ED of P1 Stars. Now, you've heard it. The time to invest in real estate is now. The company to invest with is P1 Stars. Thank you very much.